Hey everybody, welcome back. Once again, my microphone was not recording. I don't know why this time, but so here we are, doing a voiceover again. So at first I thought this was Sir when I noticed some movement. It almost soiled myself, but then realized, oh, it's just a skeleton. So we're going to put the poleaxe to work here. Really want to get our hands on that two-handed mace that he's using. So go ahead and grab that. It also has a spiked tip, so you can stab with it. So not just crush damage. And I took a look at some of these armor pieces. Wasn't very impressed. What I was really looking for was the arm harness, which we unfortunately had not found. And I was hoping to find it here, but instead it was the cuirass, which is not a bad thing, so we're definitely going to grab that. And we do have one upgrade sphere, so go ahead and upgrade this thing. Alright, so not too bad, looking nice and shiny now. So now as we continue on, this is an area where you can often find Sir wandering around, so this part right here, just going through this doorway, kind of makes me nervous. But as you can see, no Sir. And this next room, I don't see the skeleton for the last second, so I decided to just plow into him. And it actually worked. Knocked him over, gave us a free hit there. But then I start to have trouble finding a good angle right around here. We got a few pretty good hits in already. And then I stumble over the bench here, start to panic a little. Still looking for a good angle. There's so many obstacles around, it's really hard to make some space, and then we finally get it right there. With the help of that bench, the assist to the bench there. Start off with a pretty good hit there. Go under the shield, always a nice tactic. And then we're really hoping to find the arm harness here. And we don't. And while that helmet is nice, we have no use for it because we need our current helmet to see in the dark. So here's a few final chances to find that arm harness. And no such luck. So it's at this point that I start to realize there's a pretty good chance we're not going to find the arm harness, which means we're not going to be able to complete this armor set. And I love this armor set. Here's another spot where Sir can sometimes be found, but we get lucky. And then there's this fight. So it doesn't start off good. Trying to go under the shield there. Now you'll notice, even though we're getting hit a lot, we're only taking stamina damage because of the armor. So then I switched to dual wielding, thinking, well, I can just parry. But I'm not really getting the parries here. There we get one right there, but then he blocks the riposte. We keep trying these remise combos, and he's just blocking everything. And I'm thinking, wow, I've got my hands full right now. How could this get worse? Well, there's the answer. Luckily, the original skeleton bit it, fell over that chair. That bought us some time to get behind this table here. And then it's just a matter of hoping that they'll trip over everything, and they do. And then right here, a very nice headshot. Just had to be sure that the skeleton was indeed finished. Alright, so now we go and grab the bracelet from the bathroom, specifically from a toilet. And that bracelet will allow us to regen our stamina much more quickly while in combat, I believe. And unfortunately, there's no lootable boxes or containers in that room. So I figure, well, we'll give this one last shot for that arm harness here. We can't move that chair for some reason. Chances are dwindling. And then we find the gauntlets, which is a good thing. But no arm harness. So now it's time to leave this area and go to the crossroads without our lovely set of armor that I was really hoping to have. What we're wearing is not bad, but it's just not as good as it would have been with the arm harness. So as we go through here, we hope that Sir will not be present, and he is not, so we can safely move on to the crossroads. Alright, so we switch it back up here, back to the poleaxe. And we are going to be dealing primarily with skeletons, but a lot of the first ones you run into here don't have any armor. And the poleaxe will do just fine. Alright, so we try to lure him out through this archway, and I'll move this here to try to get him to trip over it. Swing the weapon to try to aggro him. And then he navigates it without any trouble. Alright, so look at this coif, and it's not very impressive. Not better than the one we're wearing. We find this one, which is better, so I decide to throw that on. One of the things we're always looking for, especially in the crossroads, will be crystals. So I'm always hoping to find those when I'm searching around on this level. We haven't found any yet. That was a nice swing there. I try a remise combo. No problem, toss him to the side. Alright, so up here is the entrance to the golem level, but we're not going to go there just yet. We just want to take care of the skeleton first. Pretty sloppy fighting here, but we eventually take him down. And then we learn our second to last skill, and we start to learn the last one. So we will now soon have all of the armor and the close combat skills learned. Again, we're on the hunt for crystals here. We find a fantastic bever to cover that part of our face that is still exposed. I think about it for a second. I was like, you know what? Why not? We'll swap them out. So we'll start the process of deconstructing this current set of armor. And then this guy rushes us. And I figure that's alright, we'll just wait. And then I notice the shadow over there to the left. And here we go again. Getting flanked. So my first instinct is to use obstacles in the environment. So I start trying to backpedal around these chairs. Try to get them to come towards me. And it works, but then I miss. Fail to capitalize. That was a pretty solid left to right. Parries that one. Gets a few cheap shots in before we slam him to the ground. The chair blocks me. And then I fall over the table, of course. But at least that guy's dead. Again, just trying to goad him into walking over the chair. Go ahead and finish that one off. We have survived yet another flank. Alright, and the search for crystals continues. I did not see that stool, obviously. And we find an upgrade sphere. And a green crystal at last, so that was very good. Alright, so from here we move on, start to make our way to the other side of the crossroads. One thing you always have to be worried about in the crossroads are Blademasters. They could really, I mean, you could come across them really at any point, but there are certain times where they're more likely to appear, and in this next area right here, they are very likely to appear. The one that's behind us now, this is obviously just a regular skeleton that we have to deal with. Not too bad. Alright. Searching these containers here, not really finding anything we want. Then we do find another upgrade sphere, which is nice. And then when I come back out here, I notice there's a Blademaster. And I decide that I really want those falchions that the Blademasters dual wield, so I decide, you know what, we're going to go in this. But we're going to dual wield so that we have a better chance of parrying, because when an enemy dual wields, they parry almost everything. So I just want to even the odds. And as always, I want to use the environment, if I can. So you'll see me getting on the other side of these flower beds multiple times here. And we start off really well. Then we get ready for some parries here. And follow them up with riposte if we can. And of course I fail to parry almost all of these attacks. So I calm down a bit. There's a parry, there's a riposte. And it's at this point that I decide, you know what, we really need to start using the environment more in this fight, so I tried to force him over there, it didn't knock him over. Try to back him up into that one, and it does work, but then I fail to capitalize, like always. So I try to circle it again, but he just gets right in my face. So I decide, alright, we'll use that one. Again, we blow our chance. I'm not exactly sure what went wrong there, but something went wrong, and it's not the last time that'll happen. Finally got a few hits in. Again, trying to force him into that obstacle. Not working very well. We're taking lots of hits, but it's only doing stamina damage because our armor is quite nice against slashing damage. You'll notice how often he parries my attacks. It's just ridiculous. So at this point I get really tired of it. Switch to the two-handed mace. I try to stab him with a spiked tip. That doesn't work. And then we get a nice right to left to the leg there. And finally, the Blademaster goes down. So we take those falchions. I'm not going to use them immediately, probably save them for the sewers. And I think about the armor, think about taking it. But I realize I'll probably be better off waiting and taking the set of armor that you find after you beat the captain later on in this level. So I decide, yeah, forget it. Alright, so in here we're going to open the secret door by double-clicking the spider icon right here. And as always, we are hopeful that we will find crystals in here. And we do. Find one blue crystal, but that'll do. And an upgrade sphere, not bad. Now we're up to 3. And that'll be that for this area. So we move on. Pass one of the sewers entrances up right there on the right. Come back to that later. And now we get ready for the fight that is usually pretty annoying with this guy that has a dagger. And I figure, well, dual wielding is probably my best bet here to get some parries on the dagger. But it's not going terribly well. So, as has happened before, I decide, you know what? Let's switch it up. Try a stab here, a stab there. Nice left to right, catches him. And then a stab to the head. Another solid hit. And there we go. And that's his club right there. He doesn't use the club, but he has that in his inventory. I don't know why you would want it, but there it is. Alright, so that's going to be where we end this episode. Thank you, as always, for hanging out, everybody. I appreciate it. Please hit like and subscribe if you'd like to. And I'll see you all next time.